Sing with me. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Sing again. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. I think you all need to stand up and stretch a little bit right now. You're going to be sitting down for a good hour. Move your body a little bit as we sing. If you want to put your hands together, come on. And God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. That's right, come on. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Oh, God gives me everything I need. Let's sing about love. Love is my source. Yes, love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything. We're going to sing about joy. Joy is my source. What? Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. Joy gives me everything I need. That's right. Joy gives me everything I need. Joy gives me everything I need. It is true. Joy gives me everything I need. Last night on my jazz gig, I made up an improv song about texting. It was funny, actually, and fun. And the message of it is, I think the hook was, we live in a strange, strange world because we can no longer communicate as we walk down the street, to look each other in the eye, to say hello, and how we greet and or meet with a smile, because our head is always down in our phone all the while where we're walking into somebody else because we didn't take the time to look at them and smile and give a little bit of yourself. So, what I love about this song is it just talks why we treat each other in this way. Taking up time with the silly little games that we play. That's right. 'Cause we've got our love, and no matter how it's said or done, oh, you know this, we are one. That's right. No matter what we do, we are one. 'Cause love will see us through, we are one. And that's the way it is, we are one. We are one, my friends. Sometimes I feel that we try and make each other feel so bad. Oh, the things we do, how we make each other feel so sad, yes. 'Cause we've got so much, we could all be having so much fun. Now I need you to sing that line with me, come on. And we are one. No matter what we do, we are one. Love will see us through, and love will see us through. We are one. That's right, and that's the way. That's the way it is. We No matter what we do, we are one. Yes, and I said, love will see us through. We are one. Oh, from the very start, we are one. Yes, deep down in your heart, we are one. Oh, we are one. Hey, oh, we are one. Hey, that's the way it is. We are one. We are one, everybody, don't forget.
Thank you, Tiffany and Greg. You guys are amazing, as always. Hi, Cityside. Hi, Livestreamers. Hi. Oh, you guys are saying hi back to me. That's awesome. A lot of times I come up here and I feel like I'm talking at you, not with you, so this is great. Hi, I'm Russ Laguerre. I'm one of your licensed spiritual practitioners and assistant ministers in training with only 1 month of classes left before I'm done. Yeah, I know, and I'm only freaking out about this much. So, if you're here for the first time, we especially want to welcome you, and I see a lot of new faces, which is awesome. And at Cityside, we are about practical spirituality that you can use to create the life that you want. We embrace new thought, wisdom paths, and we are affiliated with the Centers for Spiritual Living. We honor all paths, I can say it right, and we practice oneness. And really what we're about is providing a supportive community where you can find your own path and connect with that spirit and that wisdom that resides within you. So today, one of our ministers and practitioners, Judy, is holding vigil for us today, which is a state of deep meditation so that we can all have a more grounded and deep experience. So please join me today, if you guys have your handouts, in speaking our vision and mission out loud. We envision an empowered community that is living in a world of unconditional love in action. Our mission is to create safe spaces to explore and deepen our faith, grow in spiritual relationship, and connect with our authentic nature. We are a social media friendly community, so if you see your neighbor tweeting, Instagramming, smoke signaling, semaphoring, interpretive dancing on their phone, whatever it might be, please don't give them the stink eye. We want you to do that. Please get out the word. Please spread it out in all of the social media. We very much appreciate that. The only thing that we ask is please turn off your ringer so that we can all have a deeper and more sacred experience here today. And our theme for February is a new frame on love and relationship. And Kristin is here today to speak on interdependence, our relationship to everything. So that's a big deal. And for me, I was actually hiking at Starved Rock State Park and Matheson State Park yesterday. Why do one when you can do two? And every time I'm there, I'm really struck by how everything is connected. And I feel more connected with the universe, with God, with the divine, whatever you want to call it, every time that I'm there. So I'm really grateful that Kristin is here today speaking on this topic. It's a really cool topic, so thank you for sharing your wisdom with us. And now is our time to stand up, meet somebody that maybe you have not met before. And our icebreaker today is, what is a relationship that you are grateful for in your life? And go.
We can start making our way back to our seats. Thank you as we come back to the room. Okay, hello Cityside. My name is Rob Wozniak. I'm a licensed spiritual practitioner here at Cityside. This morning I have a reading from Joel Goldsmith, Practicing the Presence, from chapter 5, Love Thy Neighbor. So, what is love in the spiritual sense? What is the love which is God? As we remember how God was with Abraham, with Moses, in the wilderness with Jesus, John, and Paul, ministering to them, the word love takes on a new meaning. We see that this love is not something far off, nor is it personal. As this universal and impersonal love flows out from us, we begin to love our neighbor because it is impossible to feel the love for God within us and not love our fellow man. Let us understand that anything in which we can become aware is a neighbor, whether it appears as a person, place, or thing. Every idea in consciousness is a neighbor. When we see God as the cause and our neighbor as that which is in and of God, then we are loving our neighbor, whether that neighbor appears as a friend, relative, enemy, animal, flower, or stone. In such loving, which understands all neighbors to be of God, derived of God's substance, we find that every idea in consciousness takes its rightful place. Let us resolve loving our neighbor into a spiritual activity, beholding love as the substance of all that is, no matter what the form may be. As we rise above our humanhood to a higher dimension of life in which we understand our neighbor to be pure spiritual being, God governed, neither good nor bad, we are truly loving. So right now I'm going to invite you to turn within as we enter our time of stillness. And, I just invite you to contemplate this idea of loving our neighbor and loving all that is within our experience. So recognizing right here and right now that there is one life, one source, that is love, that is harmony, that is wisdom. And as I know this is true about Source, I know that it's true about me, that I am one with the one, that this power and presence lives within me. And as I know that it's true for me, I absolutely know it's true for everyone gathered here this morning and online, that we are one with love, one with the harmony, the love that is Source, that is moving in as and through us with perfect divine appointment. And so from this place of knowing, I bless this gathering this morning. I bless all the hearts and hands that have showed up early and have been here setting up and will later be taking down, that their efforts produce a lasting impact on our city and our state and on the world beyond. I bless the leadership of this community, its staff, knowing that their efforts are making a difference, that this love, this wisdom is spreading out beyond these four walls. I bless our speaker today, Kristen Panek, knowing that she is a channel for the divine, that she is divinely appointed to carry this message of love, this message of transformation, of expansion, of holding a higher idea of our existence. And I bless all those in attendance today and all those online, knowing that this is by divine appointment and that we are open and receptive to receive this download of wisdom, this divine intention, this divine wisdom. I'm so grateful to be part of this community, so grateful to be a witness to this truth, to this unfolding, to this expansion. I'm calling it all good, and so it is.
Thank you, Rob. Today's feature was chosen based upon our theme in February, relationships, and something that I really loved on the Facebooks and the social media is that I saw a lot of self-love. I met someone last night at my performance who was from Montreal, has lived there for 5 years. She's from Senegal. And she just decided to give herself a weekend date for Valentine's. So she flew into Chicago for the first time, invited me to sit down and have a conversation with her at Andy's, and it was really beautiful. So this song is called This Is Me. I'm not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words want to cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, I'm gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come, and I'm marching on to the beat of my drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies. This is me. Sinking, we are bursting through the barricades. They're reaching for the sun. me. And I know that I deserve my love. There's nothing I'm not worthy of. I make no apologies. Oh, this is me. Sharpest words wanna cut me down. I'm gonna send a flood. I'm gonna drown them out. I am brave. This is proof. This is who I'm meant to be. This is me.
That was amazing. For those of you who were here last week, Tiffany was sick, so she's looking so much better today. So we're very lucky to have Tiffany and Greg with us every Sunday, so thank you too. So I'm Reverend Amy Daniels. I'm the spiritual director here, and I have the privilege of introducing our speaker this morning, Kristen Panek. And many of you may know who she is because she's been very involved in the oneness movement and the happiness meditation for many, many years. But she's also the founder and spiritual director of the Flowering Heart Center in Wheaton, which supports a community and empowered, connected, inspired states of consciousness, people living in that. And she also is the author of a book called My Family Needs My Spiritual Leadership Now, which is based on her experience as a single parent and having the realization that she was so busy trying to make a living that she wasn't focused enough on the values she wanted her kids to have, and it's really offers tools to work on that. But what I really appreciate about Kristen is that she is somebody who actually really practices what she teaches, and we've had the privilege of having her before and having her lead us in a oneness meditation, so I can't wait to hear what you have to say this morning, Kristen. Come on up.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be back here. This past year was huge for me. I was in my 60th year. My mom passed away. I published my book. I walked the El Camino through northern Spain. We renovated my mother's house and moved into it. And in the midst of all of that emotional, physical labor, some things happened inside of me. The result being that a relationship with my ex that I've actively worked on for probably 15 years, but I've carried grievances for over 30 years, fell away. And it's huge for me. Maybe you can relate. Maybe there's somebody in your consciousness that is niggling at you, right? And two things that I want to really communicate about this today. One is the sense of interconnectedness with everything, our interdependence on each other, on the earth, on the divine, on everything. Because as I walked those 500 miles through Spain, I feel like I experienced that. I feel like I have a bodily sense of it now. Because anytime I needed anything, it miraculously showed up. It's an extraordinary adventure. And the other piece I want to take you through is laying some groundwork so that your mind can start to align behind what your heart wants to do. So bear with me as I lay down some concepts to get you to the point of the process of dismantling a story structure that is not serving you. And I'd like to begin with a quote from Bhagwan that I love. Letting go of the need to control is surrender. Letting go of the hurt is forgiveness. Letting go of the resistance is acceptance. Letting go of possession is love. To let go again requires grace. To let go again requires grace because our mind loves to hang on to the stories of hurts from our past. And so I want to start at the beginning. What is relationship? And our reading today pointed at it. Whenever we introduce ourselves to somebody, what do we say? We refer to ourselves in a relationship. I give you my name. I'm Kara's mom. I'm the director at the Flowering Heart Center. I'm part of Cityside Community, so we're always in relationship to something. That's how we define ourselves. So life is relationship. What is relationship? Life is relationship. Think about who you are if you take away all those relationships. Just for a moment. Who are you? You take away everything. I feel like I'm floating in space, right? This vast emptiness. Nothing there. So you can say relationships fill us up. They give us identities, costumes with which we can relate to one another. So the quality of our life depends on the quality of these relationships. And how we're feeling in any moment is a clue to what the quality of those relationships are. And the feeling state that we're either in two places with it. We're either inspired, you can think of it as an upward spiral, right? We're expanded, we're uplifted, inspired, or we're spiraling down into contraction, into depression. We like to think we can hang out in the middle space, but it's not true. We're either moving in one direction or the other. So being really conscious and aware of which way you're moving is vital, because nothing is stationary, everything is moving. I mean, if you think this planet is hurtling through space at what speed? It's amazing we're still on it, right? So feelings are our barometer, and if you take a moment to think about your most challenging days, it's probably the day that your partner yelled at you, right? Or your boss, or your kids. Those are the things the mind keeps replaying over and over again. And we start spiraling down energetically. So letting go of the hurt is forgiveness. That brings more joy, more love, more of this unconditional love we're speaking of. But it's easier said than done. And we gather together in conscious communities like this to remind each other how important it is to love, how important it is to forgive. And we do. I forgave my ex. I did. I was sincere. Worked for a while, came back again. I forgave again. So what's happening? I'm helpless, right? The unconscious mind is 2 billion times stronger than the conscious mind. So sincerely with my conscious mind, I am doing this. But my unconscious, with all its sabotaging patterns and all of its history, is coming at me like a tidal wave. And as a friend once said, the conscious mind is like shooting a water pistol at a tidal wave. You know, it's like, I forgive. Boom, right? So much for that. So what do? Well, in a state of helplessness, we recognize that helplessness. We reach out for our divine. We move into that higher state of consciousness. We allow the grace to let go again. And the divine will come to our aid, but we need to do our part. This is an interdependent relationship. We need the divine for so many things, right? The divine needs us to be the hands and feet and voices in the world, to spread the word, to spread the love, to help relieve suffering. So in this matter, we need to do our part. We need to see what's happening at a deeper level. So the first thing we see is we lack forgiveness. And the mind is very tricky. It's like, oh, you've done all this work. You know, you need a little more help with it, but you give yourself credit. You've done a good job. No. If we had forgiven, we would have forgotten. So seeing the full truth, I lack forgiveness. I do. There's some part of me hanging on to those grievances for 30 years, thinking they're in cold storage. And this lack of forgiveness is being tied to the past. It's repeating the same complaint over and over, like Groundhog Day, right? Over and over. Creating a groove in consciousness, which brings you more of it. And we think it's only one relationship, but it seeps into others. Gradually, it seeps into all the relationships and certainly seeps into the relationship with yourself. So hatred over here breeds hatred over here. And because nothing exists in isolation. And this is why I really wanted to bring to you the focus for you to this interconnectedness, to really seeing that. I mean, we know on some level that we're all interconnected. We have this concept. And recently I saw this book by this author, because one of the things that we talk about sometimes is, when you have your morning cup of coffee, you think you made the coffee. The whole world was involved in that cup of coffee. The plants had to be planted, the sun had to shine, the water, the nutrients. They had to pick the beans, roast them, send them to a retail outlet, design the cups that they go in, till finally they come to your table, right? And an author recently tried to personally thank the 1,000 people who were involved in bringing him his cup of coffee, which is the story I love, because he came back with such a profound sense, a reverence for how interconnected we are and interdependent we are on each other, a profound sense of gratitude. The book is Thanks 1,000. And so we also have the internet, which has made it more real for us how connected we are. And indigenous cultures actually have access to the inner internet. In the Western world, we need to make things external in technology so we can relate to it. But the indigenous tribes understand that internal internet, where all the resources are there as they need them. And so I want to first just start with tuning into this interconnectedness. So just close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. Connect in your heart with your divine. Relax back into this presence. And ask for an experience of this interconnectedness, of this web of life. Accept whatever images and feelings arise for you. This web may appear as golden light connecting everyone. However it appears to you, just notice if anyone is feeling discouraged or upset, it ripples through the whole web. You may only get a small trace of it, but it's there. So take a few moments to send a wave of gratitude through this web. And then open your eyes. Now, with this feeling sense of interconnectedness, let's take the next step, the other point that I'd like to take you through to give your mind some structure around where we're going here. And that is resentments, looking at how resentments form. So anything born on this planet likes to grow. That's why it's here. We are in the cycle of birth, growth, destruction. This is not only plants, animals, and beings. This is ideas. Any idea that is born wants to grow. And as it grows, it consumes your energy. And it needs your energy for its survival. So if you look at thoughts are actually floating around us. And if you can see it, you would see that, it's why two people might say the same thing at the same time. It's why multiple people across the world invent the same things at the same time, because these thoughts are floating around. They have weight and they have mass to them. And where we place our attention has a measurable effect. So, for example, if you think of Gaper's blocks, you're driving down the highway, there's an accident. The more people looking at that, the more attracting energy that has. And you cannot resist looking at it as you drive by, right? That's because it has so much attracting energy from everybody looking at it. So, an idea that's born wants to grow, and this collection of thoughts has energy. And as it grows, it needs more and more of our energy. And then it attracts our attention, and we're focused on it, and we cannot pull away. And then it gets more attracting energy. And so what happens is you're actually living in a virtual reality of your own making. So you might be walking down the street in Chicago, but you're having a fight with your spouse right in front of you, right? And so these unresolved hurts that are in our consciousness are all using this energy, and it's all creating these stories happening before our eyes. And they grow unchecked until we do something about it. And at a certain point, you get full. You can't take in any more input because there's so much going on here. And this is why some people can't even leave their home. And at a certain point, they look at the objects in their home, and that triggers memories. And then they turn out the lights, and then they're in this depressed, dark place, right? So the life force has gone out. So what do? First of all, we become aware of the truth. We are so busy looking at the story and adding to it that we've vacated ourselves. We're not feeling what's going on in here. Those stories are asking you to look inside, to feel what's happening. And it's not the content of the story that's important, it's experiencing it. It needs to be experienced to move through. So I had this interesting case where this woman in our community, it's just a simple story, but it illustrates the truth. She was enjoying herself at a birthday party until somebody looked at her in a funny way. Now, she was awkward in social situations, but this wave of shame came over her when somebody she didn't even know looked at her that way. But she knew to stay with it. And so she went into the shame, allowed it to be there. And then she dropped inside, and she saw herself as a 4-year-old child on a playground where she was covered with dirt, and the other kids were laughing at her. And she said to herself, I'm messy, and nobody wants to play with me. Right? So this is the idea that was born and the idea that grew that kept her from socializing as much as she would like and made that socialization very awkward for her. But once she saw that it was done, she has no problem anymore in social situations. So this is the power of seeing the truth, of experiencing the truth, and connecting with your divine. So let's just take a moment to do this for ourselves, to give a short example of this. So close your eyes, breathe, connect inside with your divine. and bring to mind a situation that still triggers you. And allow yourself to feel what's under there. Let go of the resistance, or the sadness, or the anger, whatever is there. Let go of the story that is creating it. But keep moving with your attention to where the strongest pain is. Keep moving in that direction. Keep allowing. Let it move you back through other life situations. Go all the way back. And notice, how old are you? What is happening? What are you saying to yourself? Take a breath, hold the breath for a moment. And as you release the breath, release the energy. Let go of the hurt is forgiveness. Feel the space that is created when that leaves, and fill that with golden light. Breathe in golden light. Breathe in self-forgiveness for any way that you're making yourself wrong for holding this viewpoint. Open to receive the divine grace that is there. And then open your eyes. So I let go of the resentments that I carried for 30 years when I saw the truth that since we're all interconnected, that grievance was hurting me as much as anything else. So the freedom I felt when that fell away was indescribable. There's so much energy I recovered because there was no longer any, that idea was using up so much of my energy resources that when that dropped, there was so much freedom inside of me. So you can do this too. Recognition exists in isolation. And so our ability to experience more joy, more freedom, more love is dependent on our ability to really see and experience and let go. To let go, the hurt is forgiveness, and it's felt through the entire web of life, through that entire interconnection. To let go again requires grace. Surrendering to that grace is love. So you'll find, if you want to take a little more time with that, you'll find that in my book. I'm happy to send you a free copy of it if you leave your information there. Or for those online, just send an email to Kristen Panek at Gmail, and I'll send it to you as well. This information and more is in there, and some processes to help you work through it, to really clean up any relationship in your life that is still using your energy that you want to reclaim for love and connection. Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen. You have a beautiful way of explaining things that just makes a lot of sense. It's so clear, so thank you. So we're going to take this into prayer now.
I didn't realize that I would need a box of Kleenexes.
You can start. People in this room is one with this presence and power, that the entire world, there is no place that this presence and power, people we don't like. And so from this place of oneness, I speak my word of transformation, just knowing that within each of us, there is a deepened realization of our interconnectedness with everything and everyone. I know that as we heal our own hearts, we spread this healing out to the world. And this is what I am knowing and claiming, that we all heal whatever circuit, connection, relationship is broken within our lives, within our minds, within our hearts. And I just know and claim relief, love, healing, peace, new understanding, compassion. Whatever Spirit is calling forth for you, by the power of this word, I know that that is what is happening now. And I'm so grateful for this, so grateful to know that you're not doing this alone. So grateful to know that none of us are ever doing this alone, that Spirit is with us, that this healing is already complete, that we are all whole, perfect, and complete already. I'm so grateful for this, so grateful for these words of healing, so grateful for this loving presence, so grateful just to say yes to the greater good for all. And with so much gratitude for all of this, I simply say, and so it is. Amen.
And so it is. We are one.
Can we give a little bit more love to Kristen Panek, please? You know, I'm such an interdependence nerd, so I really appreciate that talk, and it's only fitting that we move into our offering in that spirit of interdependence. So Cityside is a community-supported organization, and each week we practice conscious giving to support Cityside in creating a space and experience of us coming together in community. So one of the reasons that I give to Cityside is because of that practice of interdependence. It's something that opens me up to my own relationship with money, of course, but also my relationship with this community. And after Kristen's talk, I just kept thinking like, oh, wow, you know, that the money that comes here, man, what kind of a journey did it have to get here before, you know, it got to the people who choose to give today, but also like, where was it before? Where was it before that? Where was it before that? And it just keeps going and going and going, and that's really, really cool. So there are a few different ways that you can give if you maybe that you had that fill you with gratitude. Maybe some money just came out of the blue and you're grateful for that. Whatever it might be, just find that place of gratitude within your heart. Now turn that attention to your money and let that gratitude just give your money a big ol' hug. So I'm going to invite you to put your gift to your heart and join us in our affirmation. Your affirmation is on your handout. You can open your eyes now. It's fine. Unless you know, you might know the affirmation. That's cool too. So when we're ready, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. All right, so we'll pass around the baskets, and thank you so much for what you give to us. We are so grateful.
It's like a diamond ring, it's a precious thing. And we never want to